So today we're going to do a little gold panning 101. I'm going to kind of show you how we do it and the proper techniques for gold panning. The first thing we did is we take our dirt and we classify it. And by classify it, I mean we take a screen and we dump the dirt in there, and by shaking that, we separate the larger rocks that will pan out later in case there's some large nuggets in there, versus the smaller stuff, which is definitely going to have our gold in it. So from there we take about 3 tablespoons and we put it into our gold pan that we're going to actually pan the gold from. Going over here to the wash plant, that's a very loose term here. Water has what's called surface tension, and surface tension can drag your gold and flow it right out of your pan. So a way to cut down on surface tension is we use jet dry. So we're just going to put a little jet dry into the water, and that will reduce the surface tension greatly and allow us to make sure that we don't lose any gold while we're doing our panning. Now, for you people out there that are beginning this for the first time, you're going to want to do what we call a safety pan, which is basically take another gold pan, so rather there's a larger pan here, and we put that into the bucket to do the water. And what that does is that'll act as a catch-all, so while you're panning, if by chance you happen to lose some gold, it will go into the second pan, which you can then repan later on. As a general rule, we usually pan all of our dirt with a safety pan in case we missed anything. We always go back a second time and pan that last little bit out before we continue on to the next batch of dirt. So with that having been said, I'm going to turn the camera over here and we're going to get started with the panning process. So when you're panning, a lot of people get really sketchy and crazy and weird about gold panning. And what you have to understand is gold is heavy. Gold is lazy. And all you're doing by panning is you're using the water to separate the gold from the dirt. And the gold will, on its own, go to the bottom of the pan. And if you look in here, there are riffles. I have large riffles here and smaller fine riffles here. These will catch the gold as you're panning the stuff out. The biggest thing that I see, the biggest problem that I see with people is when they first start panning, they get all prissy with it. Oh, I'm just going to do a little bit. You got to be vigorous with this stuff. You got to get that water in there. You got to get that gold to separate from that dirt and get down and get that dirt out of there as fast as possible. Otherwise, you're going to spend all day doing this and wasting your time. So let's go ahead and get the first pan started. I'm going to show you my technique for that. So the first thing I do, I soak it down here in the water and I get my hands in it. I make sure I get all that water down and penetrating all that dirt. And you can already see it's already turned to liquid crap over here. So we're going to get that out. We're just going to start panning. Now you want to keep tapping your pan to get that dirt to go down there. Always bring it down in the water and rotate it down a little bit. You're just going to keep going with that. So we keep going, keep tapping. And we want to get those rocks out of there. We want to keep the gold in. And don't worry about it, you're not losing any gold by doing this. You're just separating the stuff. So you see I'm already down to a tiny bit of what I had before, and I can already start seeing little bits of gold in the riffles here. So we'll bring that back down, we'll re-tap our pan once more, and we'll keep going. Remember, gold is heavier than the dirt that it's sitting in, so it will not go out. It'll always get caught in these riffles. Every once in a blue moon, though, that surface tension will screw you, and you won't be able to get the gold out. And sometimes it'll go into your safety pan. But if that's the case, then no big deal. So now we get down to the final part. And see, that didn't take very long. We had 3 huge scoops of dirt in there. So now, to see what I've got, we're going to take the pan, and we're just going to act like the ocean. Just going to do the ocean wave. You see right there? That yellow shit right there is gold. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's all gold right there. So that's what you're going for. And all that vigorous, rigorous movement we did with the gold pan did not affect all the gold that's in here. And it's all over the place down here, so it's going to stay there. So that's what you're trying to go for. Your next part is just, kind of separating the rest of this out. I'm going to get some more water in here because I don't really need all that extra dirt. We're going to keep tapping our pan and get that water, get the rest of that dirt out of there, because all I want in there is gold. I don't give a crap about that dirt. But if you see, I'm keeping it at a steep pace here, and the gold is staying right there in the pan. It's staying in the riffles. The only thing that's coming out of the riffles right now is the dirt. So go back in, we'll get a little more water here to kind of clean up. Always tapping. Now if this was a green pan, you'd be able to see the black iron oxide versus the actual gold. So sometimes we get a little bit of that in our gold cleanup, but for the most part, we just get pure gold. So from here, you're going to grab your snifter bottle, which should come with a kit if you buy a gold panning kit. And you're just going to go down here and you're going to suck up all that gold. It's got a very distinct sound. I don't know if you can hear that through the speakers here, but hopefully you can. So again, we'll go back in. Going to get our tap again. See if we got any more gold in there, which has still got a couple little pieces. And even that little tiny shit in there, you want to get that all out. So you go back to your sniffer bottle. And that, my friends, is how you pan for gold. So I hope that was informational for you and beneficial. And you know, once you start doing this, it's really a bad addiction, because you start seeing gold in your pan, you want to see gold in your pan all the time. Not necessarily a bad thing at $1,350 an ounce at current day prices. There are other techniques of things you can do. Panning is the original way of doing it until somebody invented what was called a sluice box. Now I have a small version of that here in my equipment, which I'll show you real quick before I end this video. This is a sluice box. Basically the way this works, you have water coming in here. You have your water jets, as you can see by the little holes up in the top here. And this will run water down these riffles, which act like the riffles in a gold pan. You pour in your pay dirt up in the top here, and as the water washes it down, the gold gets caught in the riffles, and you can pull this mat out and wash it out and get your gold that way. They have much larger versions of this, going from something that fits on a deck to something that takes up, you know, 500 square feet of space. So there are many ways of getting gold, but this one here is fun. It's something you can do on your own, or do with a family member or your significant other, and you're rocking and rolling. So with that, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.